So the Outlast Trials Beta happened and I was lucky enough to be a part of it. But those who couldn't make it, or those who were just really excited about the game, are probably still interested in all the details. So first off, the Outlast Trials is a 1 to 4 player co-op, puzzly survival game. It's got a lot of charm of the single player Outlast games, but it's put into a more replayable group experience rather than a static storyline. Now that doesn't mean there isn't a story here. Oh no. In fact, each mission, even the tutorial, seems to have an interconnected lore and expectations as if they were their own mini Outlast game. Compared to a lot of other games that focus on this sort of 4-player trial thing, this game has a lot more theme and atmosphere, and it's very impressive. In the beta, we only had access to the tutorial mission and the trial, Snitches Get Stitches. However, in the beta, we could see the title cards of the trials to come, each with its own aesthetic and objectives. Let's start with the story and the tutorial. The story starts off with you being a homeless person in an alley, and a flyer for the Murkoff Corporation flies over into your cold mitts. You know, the typical desperate person falls into the grasp of a malicious organization, call to action sort of thing. You are then knocked out, bagged, and transported to the facility where it's time for some modifications. You know.
They drink some of Dr. Barber's tea and fall asleep, and when they wake up, surgery.
Anyway, you're strapped to an operating chair, which after, consenting to the operation, Dr. Man and Nurse Lady start the surgery to turn you into a sort of cyborg lab rat sort of thing. Side note, before the operations, the nurse mentions that you have a history. She says specifically that you have some secrets. I don't believe there is anything too important about her saying this. Some people might interpret this as the character we are playing as having some sort of deep lore or importance to the story, and yeah, that could happen, but I really think that this was put in here just as a nod to the dirty investigation that Murkoff has been doing on you prior to your official indoctrination. I don't believe you are going to be the next Miles or Billy or whoever in this game. The player is likely to just remain as a blank slate, so everyone can just embody themselves in gameplay. And congrats! You are now ready for therapy. Therapy? Therapy? Yes, the trials are framed in a way that they are semi-controlled experimental conditioning for you, the potential weapon or drone or lab rat of Murkoff. So it's at this point that the tutorial begins and you can play the game. And the tutorial is really good. You make your way through this sort of warehouse scaffolding into a weird exhibit. It looks kind of like an old historical site turned into a tour guide, like if Disney got their hands on George Washington's house kind of sort of look. Also, there are crazies and bodies everywhere. You follow the robot tour guide around and symbolically void your birth, morals, and past from your mind. And then you actually destroy your public and private records, removing your identity from the world. Congrats, you're not a person anymore, so Murkoff can do whatever they want to you. Now while this is happening, there are multiple people trying to kill you, like Power Drill Hand Papa Mayuhu Lady, and angry conservative guy.
The liberals!
But once you finish your record destruction, you leave via the shuttle, and now you have your own prison cell!
Woo!
You're moved to a holding location called the Sleep Room, and this place functions as the game's lobby area. Here you can customize your living quarters, your character, your outfit, your loadouts for missions, and you can look at any lore documents you find in the trials and interact with other players. You know, your classic lobby stuff. There's also this guy in a wheelchair looking over you. Yeah, he sure looks important.
You have become the host.
Now there were only 4 base mods you could pick for your loadout in the beta, being a stun grenade, a proximity smoke mine, a healing beacon, and temporary wall hacks. But it's clear from this that there are a lot more mods, or at least mod tiers, that will be introduced in the full game. Moving on to the trials, we have a collection to expect from in the full game. During the beta, we only had access to Snitches Get Stitches, and I played solo because I have no friends. Your mission in the trial is to sneak into a police station and punish a snitch who has dirt on Murkoff while avoiding various hostile characters. You get into the police station, avoiding goons of various sizes, watch Sparky Boom Man tase someone, get to the snitch, turn on some generators to restore power to the facility, bring the snitch through multiple locked doors payload style, and teach him a little lesson. Congrats, your job is done. Now get out before you get put in the chair yourself. The trials were pretty fun, to be honest. The 4 difficulties per trial are easy, normal, hard, and insane, but insane was unavailable during the beta. I will say that the normal difficulty was a bit too easy, and hard was harder, but not in the best way. At the moment, there are too many consumable items on the ground to use, which makes the game too easy. Bottles and bricks which can distract or stun enemies are everywhere. Sanity spray and health drink bottles are all over. Batteries for night vision are plentiful, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, it's hard to die when there's so many resources available. My theory is that there is the same amount of items regardless of player count, and so solo players have a bit of an easier time at the moment. Hard difficulty was a better experience for me, but it seems like the difficulty change is in the enemy congestion, which works until one gets stuck in a room that you need to go through and your progress gets halted. But a couple tweaks to the AI and item drops and everything should be fixed right up, I would say. But yeah, overall, I had a great experience, especially for a beta. I'm actually looking forward to what this game has to offer when it releases. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. I have some more video ideas about Outlast Trials that I'm going to get to work on. Hopefully you'll see those soon. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace!